What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm Cody.
And I'm Jacob.
And this is Free to Think, where we think freely about lots of different topics.
Yep.
Yep. I was looking online. I know you're about to say something, but
Big mistake.
Free to Think, actually, the idea of free to think or free thinkers or something like that is like most of what I can find is tied to atheist groups.
Ah.
And there's actually a free thinkers group here in Grand Junction that's atheist.
Maybe we should join.
Maybe we should have them on the podcast.
Let's do it.
Just have a good old discussion.
You know, they got a perspective that deserves discussion.
That's right. You were going to say something.
Well, I was going to get a couple of things from the previous podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
When we were interviewing Greg, did you watch that one?
I listened to it, yeah.
Oh, you listened?
Well, I mean, I was in my car. I wasn't watching, but yes, I was listening to it.
Well, there's like this super awkward moment because we were sitting on the same side of the table and I put my hand on your shoulder and then it immediately cuts to Greg. It's just like super awkward looking.
That's the auto mixing.
Yeah.
It
was also the impulsivity of me like, oh, I'm on the same side over here. So I did that and then it just like switched over. I was like, oh, that's so stupid. Why did I do that?
We're not doing that. The auto mixing.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
And then on the other one, I'm like doing this at the start because of the intro song.
The music, yeah.
But it catches me doing that for like half a second. It just
You were rocking.
made me laugh.
Yeah. Sweet. So what are we talking about today?
Well, you can just kind of jump right in.
Well, sometimes you can't have any dead space in podcasts, you know?
Well, give me a moment to get collected here.
All right. See, this is dead space. This isn't good.
I was taking the sip. You're supposed to be filling.
I know. I don't have any
Chuckles.
filler today.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I wanted to talk about this. Maybe it's just been on my mind a while. But so it seems like amongst all of these sort of, how would you characterize them, relationships in the sort of public sphere, the landlord-tenant relationship is a hot button, hot topic, as they say.
Why so?
Why so? Well, because it seems like everywhere you go online, there's like a whole category of memes that are like, here's a meme for why my landlord is screwing me over. And then, of course, with what's going on in New York, it's like, oh, these landlords are so evil. They have second homes. Oh, my gosh. Landlords.
I can't remember which network it was, but there was a network that just came out with a series on actually quite the inverse. It was people taking advantage of the new laws around, someone renting and landlords and stuff like that. And the laws are clearly, the pendulum is swinging to where it's almost an absurdity, the rights that people have who are living in a house, who don't own the house, that are renting the house, to the point where people are now taking advantage of those laws and literally breaking into people's houses, don't even have a lease. People are living in there who own the house, and then they can't remove them from the house. They're taking advantage of just some absurd laws. And
Squatters' rights?
Yeah, squatters' rights, essentially. And it's based on, again, this well-intentioned idea that we want to protect people within their own home, right? Like, you have a right to be in your own home, right? Whether it's a rental or whatnot. That's a good idea. It feels good, but it doesn't always work. And there has to be a balance. And again, we always regulate to the lowest common denominator. Like those who are out abusing, not literally, but figuratively speaking, those who are abusing those who are staying in their rentals, raising their rates all the time, not taking care of the plumbing, the sewage, forcing people to live in squalor and not taking care of them. And so that person becomes the denominator now. And so everybody else is regulated to an absurd level. And so a ma and pa who spent their entire life investing in their own property, and they finally have their own property and a rental, and that's their retirement, now have to deal with absurdities within state law. And Colorado's getting worse. It's not as bad as some of the Northeast states, New York, Massachusetts, things like that.
I'm just glad we don't have any rent control laws.
Yeah, but they talk about it.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of like repealing Tabor It seems like it's always a topic of conversation.
It is. I'm involved in several statewide associations, and the idea of rent control, although it still seems somewhat kind of crazy, it's still talked about.
Yeah.
I just don't think we're there yet. I mean, Colorado, as progressive as it is socially and stuff, it's still a pretty libertarian flair to it.
Yeah.
Hence the reason we like our drugs. We don't like to pay taxes. So, which is just weird because most progressive states are like, lob on the taxes and the drugs. But here it's like, no, we don't. We like our drugs. We want people to make their own decisions.
Pardon me.
But keep the taxes low. We like our Tabor.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of a unique state.
For a while there, it was a swing state. Very purple. It would go back. Republican governor, Democratic governor.
Yeah, when I was in high school, it was back and forth. It was definitely a very purple state.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not a purple state anymore.
But it seems like one of those relationships that should be built on sort of mutual respect for the property and for the being able to occupy a home. And it seemed like the tenant-landlord relationship, it needs to be good, solid, positive. And these days it's toxic both ways. Because for every meme that I see on there, like, okay, here's the landlord painted over a cockroach because they were in such a hurry, right? You see those ones. And it's like, well, I have a counterpoint of, okay, here's the tenant that busted out a window so they could put a window mount AC unit in. And it's like, so, I mean, there's such nastiness on both sides. It's like, so what do we do?
Have we taken the relationship out between the tenant and landlord? Like we've forced them into this fake relationship that's based on a labyrinth of laws and regulations to where people are just trying to dance around laws and regs, and they forget that they have a human being that, one, they're trying to make happy or please, and from both sides, instead of just saying, hey, you and I need this, you need that. Let's make a fair trade, and let's treat each other with dignity and respect.
Dignity and respect, yeah. And I think that, I mean, the government getting in, and even if the genesis is the government needs to step in and do a little regulation, the government has stepped in so far that it's just, I mean, it's put a wall between the two parties.
Yeah.
The government is the mediator, and everything is just toxicified.
Yeah.
You know? So, because it's like, I'm a landlord, and I try to be one of those landlords that doesn't.
You're a landlord?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
You're evil.
I'm a pariah in the community. Mondami's coming for me.
He is.
He is.
You're on a list somewhere.
Yeah. But, I at least try to be willing to take care of problems as soon as I hear about them and be a good landlord. But then I get maligned, But then on the other side, I hear legitimate stories of landlords that are just sound like they're just absolutely terrible people.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of those things where maybe I'm just sort of complaining and I just need to keep doing what I'm doing because in the end it'll all work out. But
yeah.
The other thing I've noticed is that if you talk about people living in squalor, and this probably goes back to socialism too, is these tenant-landlord regulations, socialism, a whole host of other things. They don't take into account the human nature of people's just willingness to live in squalor, for these low-quality units that are falling apart. How much of that is the landlord being negligent, or how much of that is just, these people don't mind living, hoarding whatever, living with vermin.
You're saying no matter where they live, they would probably, you'd have the same outcome, kind of squalor, kind of.
Yeah, because unless,
hoarding.
So I do a monthly inspection, theoretically. And that might be the only time I actually go and see the quality of the unit. But in the meantime, I expect to be notified if there's an issue, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the refrigerator goes out. Well, if they don't tell me, then it's like, how can I even know?
Yeah.
But I just, the human nature aspect of it, of just people willing to live in those conditions, is just mind-blowing.
It is.
But then you have the other people that, they like to keep a nice house, so there's just these all different sides of it, I guess. But, how can we extricate the government out of the middle and just get back to, like you said, dignity and respect? So the tenant has respect for the property that's not theirs, and the homeowner the landlord has respect for the dignity of somebody who is, occupying their house as their home. It seems like that needs to be, how can we just foster that in a community? And it's also poisoned by the fact that, BlackRock comes in and just buys up. I mean, not only can people not be homeowners in their own right, but private landlords have a hard time buying investment properties because this mega corporation has come in and just bought up all the inventory.
And it takes the humanity out of it when when BlackRock comes in and just buys tens of thousands of units. I mean, the best model is when someone who's invested their entire life, maybe a mom and pa, who finally can own a rental and they have a rental and it's theirs. They have a lot of ownership. They manage it themselves. Those are probably the best.
Yeah.
Tenant landlord relationships.
Because what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to get, a small cadre of units that I can eventually give to my kids,
Yeah.
I want them to kind of start off in their, maybe not right when they become an adult, but early into their adulthood, be like, here's something that can generate a lot of revenue for you. It can be an income source, but also it teaches you the responsibility of being a landlord, because there is a huge amount of responsibility. And that's another thing that the socialists don't understand is, like, if this thing is supposedly owned by the community.
There is, oh my goodness, sorry.
Hey, what's that noise?
Got a phone call and I didn't put it on mute. Go ahead.
Maybe you should have answered. Maybe there's a caller. And they'll go to line 1. But where was I going with that? Oh, so if you have people, so they're just okay with sort of a lower standard of living. They have sort of the ghetto mentality. And then suddenly a huge swath of those sort of people own an apartment complex.
Yeah.
It's like, who's going to do the maintenance?
Yeah.
Because right now, if the refrigerator breaks, or if the toilet's clogged up, or even if a light bulb needs replaced, who do they call? They call me, and I go over there. I walk around, I do a little inspection, I take care of what their issue is, and then we both go on our merry ways. But if I'm out of the picture as a landlord because they've seized my property, and suddenly this whole trailer park is owned by the community.
The Ministry of Living.
Yeah, the Ministry of Acceptable Opinions and Living Conditions. Who's going to do the maintenance? I mean, they'll probably hire somebody to do the maintenance, but they're going to hire someone to do the maintenance at wages that don't entice them to be good at their job. It just, the base level to not get fired. So
we'll get there when we can.
Yeah.
We'll get there when the budget allows.
So, man, it sucks from both perspectives, because so many tenants have been screwed over by landlords, and vice versa, in probably equal measure, because for every story I hear of a landlord being just an absolute jerk, I have stories of my own of somebody moving out, owing me $5,000 because of damages and everything, and I never see a dime of that.
Yeah, you never will.
Yeah, so it's like, man, what a toxic relationship. So what's the solution? I mean, I try to be the best landlord that I can be, but I don't know a lot of other landlords. So is there an attitude amongst other landlords that's similar to mine, or am I just out here alone by myself?
I don't think you are. And I mean, I guess trying to give a picture of like the ideal situation, like there's got to be incentives on both sides. There has to be incentives for a landlord to take care of their property. And with private ownership and a free economy and market demands, someone is naturally going to want to take care of their property. The fridge goes out. I don't want the food going bad. I don't want that place smelling. I don't want them living in squalor because there's value. My investment is in that piece of property. There is an incentive for them to take care of that property and to take care of their tenant. And in a free market economy, that tenant, if they don't like what they're getting, they can leave, and then you lose rent, and then there's turnover. So the ideal situation is you get someone in there who wants to be there, where you have a mutually beneficial relationship, and over time, you keep that tenant in there. they're paying you, you're getting your investment out, and they're getting a good product. It's a fair trade. So where have we gone wrong? Where's the process kind of unraveled and fallen apart? It seems like when there's lack of ownership in the property, then you get really, really bad landlords. You get really poor care of a property. And a lot of that came in when you created the projects, in New York. Like when they created that project, it was government owned. There was no ownership. The tenant had no ownership. And when government owns something, it's not real ownership. There's no one who's cares for it like someone who actually owned it would. And then the place just starts to deteriorate. It's the tragedy of the commons. Like when there's no true, genuine ownership, no one's really going to care for it.
Yeah.
And
look at public bathrooms.
Yeah.
You go downtown and they have those standalone public bathrooms. Terrifying, right?
Yeah, it's gross.
Because it's like public owned, but the people that use it have no ownership, So it's like, I go in there and I'm going to do whatever I want, and then I'm going to get out of there. The problem is for the next person, right? Who cares? So it's just, it's the perverse incentive of human nature that is never accounted for, right? And I came to a realization the other day when I was fixing something. Well, a couple of them, because I recently just purchased another rental property because I want to start building this my little empire, And I've gone through a couple tenants, and obviously if there's turnover, it means the tenants were not very good. But I got some folks in there now that seem to be pretty good tenants. I've gone in there a few times, and they seem to be taking pretty good care of the place. They're excited to have a lawn, right? This particular property has a little spot out front that could be a lawn. Through the selling process, I think the lawn died last summer.
Sure.
So it's like, great, that sounds awesome. But in the process of this, I have this new experience of a tenant that wants to, quote unquote, bother me about every little thing. And a lot of them aren't little things, right? It's just things that need to be taken care of. And when I see the text message, I have like this two-pronged response, right? It's first of all, it's like, oh no, not again. But on the second time, it's like, they're paying me. I'm the landlord. This is my job, right? So it's like, okay, get off your high horse, change your attitude, get over there and do what needs to be done. Yeah. And just be the guy that's the atypical landlord. Be responsive. When you walk in the door,
change the narrative.
Greet him.
Yeah.
Say hi. Say, how you doing? Hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then fix what you need to fix and go on your merry way.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I try to do that in my own life. And then the other realization that I came to is just, man, when things are going south, it's usually been my response to try to, the bleeding heart takes over, right? You try to be like, okay, well, I realize you're having a hard time. How are we going to get back on track?
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, when things are already going south, and then you try to, get back on the right track, so to speak, they just can't do it. And unfortunately, so the realization that I came to, right, is like, I am not your life therapist, right?
Sure.
We are operating under a contract called the lease, which is a legal document that spells out our relationship. And then there's a bunch of government regulations that come with that also. So as much as I want to be the guy that helps them above and beyond, it's like, so my struggle lately is just like, as a landlord, just in any situation, what is my exact response? And you just got to be clear and consistent and quick, right? So if they're behind on the rent, it's like, okay, well, that sucks, but here's your eviction notice, right?
Sure.
I'm sorry, but that's the legal document that we signed, So if the light bulb goes out, it's like, okay, on the one hand, I don't want to be texted for every little thing, but on the other hand, you know what? This is a source of income. Boom, I'm going to take care of it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take care of you in the process.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you sitting in the dark in your bedroom. So I'm going to go in there, I'm going to fix the light bulb, and then everybody's happy,
Yeah.
So it's just, I think for me, if I look back on my prior landlord self and just say, where did I get it wrong? It was dragging out the bleeding heart process instead of cutting it off.
Yeah.
That's why people end up owing you $5,000.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get them out, you don't see a dime of it.
Well, and the BlackRocks of the world, they're not bleeding hearts.
Oh, no. They're quite the opposite.
The second you are late, the eviction process starts.
Yeah. And not only that, I've heard from some people that if you break the lease, then you're responsible for the rent in the unoccupied time.
Yeah.
Like if you move out, then it takes them 3 months to get it rented. You're on the hook for that 3 months of unoccupied. And it's like, what? How is that even?
Well, and that's where you get...
I mean, I understand it's in the lease,
Sure.
but that seems exorbitant to me.
Well, and that's where you get really bad law, because you've got legislators who see these massive operators like BlackRock or somebody else who are draconian in how they approach people who are trying to rent their houses.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, we need to stop this activity. The problem is, again, you can't brush everyone with the same stroke, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Everything's different. Every situation is different.
Especially like scaling to the size of the organization. Because I'm just some dude who's got 2 units.
Yeah.
I'm not BlackRock, who has thousands and thousands of units.
And lawyers, and they know the process of how to get people out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so when you, who are trying to help somebody out, you help them out to the nth degree, and then you have these absurd tenant laws, and it makes it even harder for you to get out, then you eat it in the short. So it's the mom paws, it's the small people who want to have a little bit of investment who end up getting screwed with these laws. And the tenants do as well because of it. And again, when government gets involved, it's never good. If we left it truly to a market system, yes, there's going to be people who fall through the cracks. They're always going to be that. But at the same time, it's a better organic relationship when you have 2 people saying, this is what I want from you, and the other person saying, this is what I want from you. And when you can do that, it works.
Yeah.
I've had good renters and I've had bad renters. I've been in a rental myself. I've kind of seen it from every angle. And yeah, these days you got to understand the law, because if you don't, it could be 6 months before you get somebody out of there not paying rent and then destroying the place.
Oh, yeah.
$10,000 short.
If you think they have no incentive to take care of the place when they're just in a normal situation, imagine their incentive to take care of the place when they're being evicted.
Yep.
It's like that flips it from like just negligence to like acrimony at that point. It's like they want to destroy stuff because they want to stick it to the man.
Well, and the law makes you the bad guy. You've taken care of the place. It's them. It's those that aren't paying the rent, right?
Yeah.
They aren't paying the rent. So, but somehow the law has made the landlord the bad guy, and so there's this vitriol towards the bad guy, and I'm going to stick it to that guy, even though the government's the one that's made this adversarial relationship between the 2 of you. But if we had natural consequences to these things, more natural consequences, like if you're a bad landlord, you're going to get less rent. You're going to get less people renting out your product.
Yeah. Or your reputation's going to tank, right?
Yeah. Or if you're a good landlord and you have a good product and good quality, you have good reviews, people are going to be like, I'll pay a little extra for that. And then you get good renters who want to be there for a long time. And the inverse is true as well. If you're a bad tenant and you don't pay your rent and you destroy the place, you're going to have a hard time finding a place in the future.
Yeah.
So
there's no landlord out there that's not going to check references.
Yeah, there's an incentive to do this stuff. Now, I mean, when you get more of the low income subsidized rentals, it's a totally different game too, right? Not only do you have state law, but then you have a bunch of federal regulations and inspection requirements and stuff like that, and it's a cobweb trying to get through.
And that happened to me because I do have a tenant that gets housing assistance, which is fine, but then they do the inspection, and it seems like it's a personal attack because literally, like in the inspection report, it seems like all the maintenance that is being done to this unit is the tenant and the landlord is totally absent. Well, it's like, that's not true. Mm-hmm. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this might be a low quality unit, but again, you have to understand that people have a threshold of living that they are just acceptable. That doesn't make sense grammatically, but
it may be a low quality unit, but it's also an affordable unit.
Yeah.
It's a place where they can actually afford.
Yeah.
They can't expect the Ritz-Carlton on $600 a month.
And maybe that's a good point, is you use the word expect, right? It's like all these expectations.
Mm-hmm.
are totally mismatched, right?
Correct.
Because on the one hand, it's kind of weird because there's two sets of expectations, right? I mean, a lot of tenants expect the world, because there's this culture of I have a right to a home, so I have a right to, all this other ancillary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also expect my landlord's going to be a terrible person, so I have to rely on the government to adjudicate everything.
Yeah.
And then on the inverse, the landlord expects people to just be people.
Mm-hmm.
But then, of course, on the sort of other side of things, they expect them to pay 3 months of unoccupied rent.
Yeah.
It's great. And then you have landlords that are just kind of shysters. I mean, I know of a situation where a landlord, he's claiming that the last month's rent. So if I say last month's rent, what does that mean to you?
I think of the 12th month of the lease.
So the very last month of the lease.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they
lease.
have to be evicted, right? It covers that last month.
Sure.
So that you can not.
That makes sense.
Stuff like that. But if you move in May, does the last month's rent mean rent that covers April? Like if I move in now, I'm paying for last month. Is that what that means?
Semantics. I didn't. That's not what I understood.
And nobody does. But in this case, this landlord is trying to convince the tenant that that's what it means.
Yeah.
In a very blatant effort to just cash in on a payday.
Yeah.
So it's like some landlords are just scum.
They are.
And then a lot of tenants are just scum too. So and maybe this is just a bunch of just me complaining because it seems like I want to be a good landlord. And then, yes, I expect tenants to have respect and dignity, and it's just a tough place to be.
Yeah, I don't think it's complaining. I think tenants are going to have some of the similar complaints. And I think at the end of the day, a lot of landlords and tenants, the majority of them would probably agree. Mm-hmm. We all want the same thing.
Yeah.
Landlords, on whole, in mass, don't want to take advantage of their tenants. Tenants don't want to be taken advantage of by their landlords. They want a mutually beneficial relationship where this guy can enjoy his home peacefully. He can go to bed at night knowing that there's not water leaking through the roof or the fridge is not broken, or that if something does go wrong, there's going to be a reasonable expectation of response. If your AC goes out in the middle of summer, it's probably not going to get fixed today because contractors are just busy during the summer. It might be 4 or 5 days, but it's also not going to be this fall before I get to it.
Also, your landlord has a 40-hour week job. So
yeah, understanding all of that stuff. So,
but then again, here's another little anecdote, right? And this surprised me at the time. So it was wintertime, and the furnace went out in the unit, and I called up the contractor, mm-hmm. and it was like a Saturday. So the contractor says, "Well, usually we charge an after hours overtime fee or whatever, and so I had the choice of, well, do I do it now or do I wait? I mean, this is winter."
Yeah.
And I said to the guy, I was like, well, I can't make him wait. So you just get over there when you can and get it fixed.
Yeah.
And so they did. They went over there. They fixed it. They got it working again. But then he called me back and he's like, I decided not to charge you that because it's so rare for a landlord to just go for it.
Yeah.
And it struck me as like, what?
Yeah.
That's a rare thing for a landlord to go ahead and opt for someone to have heat in a reasonable amount of time. It's like, that's ridiculous.
Well, I think it's the nature we live in today, right? Like laws and regulators have, what's the right term? They have desensitized landlords to the human being living in their product.
Yeah.
No longer is it a human being that you need to care for living there. It's a check that rolls in at the end of the month, and all I'm looking at is the numbers. I can wait till Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to pay the $60 or whatever.
I'll save $60 by waiting till Monday. They can live through it. I lived through it when I was a kid. Boy,
put some more blankets on.
Yeah, put some more blankets on. So it goes from an economic decision, a money decision, in which it should be, I'm caring for this human. It's my responsibility. It might cost me an extra $60, but this is what's being adult and landlord is.
Yeah. And I can't claim that I've been perfect, I've been learning all along the way. But
and we get jaded too. We had a tenant one time who was just bitter at the world. He hadn't paid. And And we generally give our tenants months to catch up. Like, we get it. People get in weird spots. And if you communicate with me, hey, I'm not going to be able to pay the first of the month. Can I pay at the end of the month this month? Yes, but I better have both payments, something like, so you work with
get a plan together.
And if they can accept the plan and they work by the plan, I can work with anybody. Yeah. But generally that's usually a telltale sign of things, the wheels are going to come off.
That's what I say going south, right?
Yeah. And so, anyways, this one individual, the wheels came off. We gave him plenty of time, and then state law. I mean, they were in there for 6 months without paying, and $1,500 a month rent. That's racks up. And then, of course, when they finally did get out, the sheriffs were showing up the next morning. They finally did get all their stuff out. They poured gasoline on all the carpets. They didn't light them.
Oh man!
But they poured gasoline on all the carpets. They put concrete and cement in all the toilets, and it's just like, where have we gotten to where?
It's vicious.
I'm so mad at you for kicking me out of a house I haven't paid for 6 months. Literally just got 6 months free rent.
Yeah.
And they don't have any money, so you can't go after them. It's a fool's errand to try to get anything out of them.
Oh yeah, it's a waste of time.
So there's at least, with replacing carpet, toilets and stuff like that, there's at least $15,000. Now that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. That's just one dude who was just bitter at the world who decided to try to light it on fire.
That's crazy.
Obviously I didn't recommend him. He probably wouldn't put me on a.
Oh yeah.
On a.
He's not going to list you as a reference.
Exactly, but
the other thing is that just the communication, right? And that goes far beyond. That goes any relationship. If there's a breakdown in communication, there's a breakdown in the relationship.
Yep, correct.
And I'm with you there. It's like, if you will call me and ask me, say, hey, this and this and this happened. Can I pay on the 13th, pay on the 18th? Can I take this month and work it over the next? Can I use the last month's rent as this month? And sure, I'm open for all sorts of stuff. I don't want to kick people out.
Yeah. Well, you also want to help people.
They don't communicate.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to text them. You have to call them. It's like, if you're having hard times, let me know.
Yeah.
I'm not Scrooge.
Yeah.
Before the conversion, and I want to work with you. I don't want to kick you out. I want you to live in a home, but I can't do anything if you just won't tell me what is going on.
Yeah. Well, and like laws today are getting more and more draconian towards the landlord. And I believe there was a new law that was enacted a year or two ago that it more restrictions on background checks, like what you can actually see about a person, their history, felonies, things like that, which is kind of scary. Like, you don't know who you're putting into your rental. And I get it. It's human focused. We don't want people to have to be laden by their past decisions or their sins of the past or whatnot.
Yeah.
But those decisions do have consequences still. Mm-hmm. And I've had people come to me who said, hey, before you do any background checks, I just want you to know I have a felony and have a drug charge. And like, to me, I'm like, oh, I want to rent to this guy because they just came up and they were just brutally honest. Like,
I feel the same way.
Brutal honesty is like, no, I'm still going to look and see what their charges was.
Yeah.
Were.
You got to look at the details.
You got to look at the details, see where we're going. I've got families that live next to you. I don't want to put people in harm's way. Context is everything. But when someone comes up out and just says, hey, I'm having a hard time renting because this is why. I'm a good dude. I made big mistakes in the past, and they just own things. Yeah. Like, ownership is huge.
And they're trying to get on the right path.
Yeah. So I've also had renters who would text me every once in a while and say, hey, filter went bad, lights went out, but I replaced them. Don't worry about it. I'm like
you did what?
You did what? And it's like, don't you ever go anywhere. I'm not raising rent on you. It's just like, there are certain renters who are like, you should be a homeowner, but you're a renter.
The unfortunate thing, right, is like, if you have those people that are just good renters, they're trying to move up in the world, they often don't stick around that long because, lo and behold, they're trying to elevate their own status, right? Yeah. So if you're renting a trailer to them and they're trying to build a better life, they're going to move out pretty soon because they found a better opportunity. Yep. And then it's like, a good renter. I mean, God bless them, and I hope they're on a good path, but I didn't want them to move out.
But I mean, in an ideal world, that's where most people should be headed, is to homeownership.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Or even to a better, I mean, in my case, right, as my tenant was like model tenant. Mm-hmm. And she found just a better place to live. Yeah. It wasn't a trailer. It was a house with a foundation. Sure. And, a single mom, but she wanted to.
I don't blame them.
And it's like, oh, man.
Good for you.
I'm sad to see you leave, but
go
get them,
Yeah.
So that's the ones you want. But I think those ones are ultimately as rare as the ones who pour gasoline on everything.
They are. And so, unfortunately, we regulate to the periphery, right? The extremes on both sides, whether you're a bad landlord or whether you're a bad tenant. Like, that's who we focus on. And then everybody else in the middle who does okay, does good, gets laden with these just absurd rules and regulations.
And they end up getting pushed to the periphery.
And they make
because
each
of the
other the
regulations.
enemy.
Yeah.
You know, because they said, well, law says this, so I don't have to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, but we got a good relationship here, right?
It's like, yeah, we can do a little give and take, you know?
Yeah. So, again, government getting in the way
Yeah.
ruins everything.
Yeah.
Almost everything. I mean,
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a role for government. You know?
Yeah.
Let's set a baseline. Let's set an expectation. But
I mean, it's like in mathematics when you're trying to do a proof and you have to do the necessary and sufficient, right? It's like you need everything that's necessary and nothing else, and you need sufficient to where you can get there. So there's a necessary and sufficient role for the government, but I think it's so bloated beyond that. It's just ridiculous.
when you said proofs, it took me back to like 11th grade
I'm glad
in high
it did.
school, and it scared me a little bit.
Was that like 3 or 4 years ago?
Actually, it was 22 years ago. Well, junior would be 23 years ago. But
You know what I found out the other day?
what's that?
Napoleon Dynamite, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We are as far from Napoleon Dynamite as Uncle Rico was from 1982.
No way.
Isn't that terrible? You know, back in 1982, I could throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because when did that come out?
2004, I think.
2004.
Yeah.
So yeah, 22 years.
If it's not right on, I mean, it's close.
Holy cow!
Isn't that crazy?
1982 seems like so long ago. Yeah. Relatively speaking, like it doesn't feel like when I talk to my kids, it doesn't feel like I was in high school that long ago. It was 20, 21, 22 years ago.
Yeah.
But when I was talking to my dad back in that time about him being in high school, it was before my time. It just felt like ages ago.
Yeah.
A different time,
Yeah.
which it was. But it's like time goes fast.
Like turning 40 is a weird time.
Have you turned 40 yet?
No, I'm 39 next year.
You're just a spring chicken.
Yeah. Sweet summer child. That's me.
Right.
It's just a weird time because it seems like middle age, you know,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, where am I going?
Yeah.
But then it's like all this stuff. It simultaneously seems like you haven't done anything,
Yeah.
but you've also done so much. It's just a weird feeling. You're kind of at the tipping point of everything.
It is.
That's probably why people have a midlife crisis
It
and
is.
buy rental properties.
It's so true. I remember turning 30 and I felt like I was proud of it. I was like, I'm 30. I'm no longer a kid, but I could still go to the young adults event at 30.
Oh, I know. And then they cut you off after that. And then it's like, oh, man, I'm not a young adult anymore.
Early 30s is like pushing it for young adults, but you're still kind of young adult.
I remember it was like up to 35.
Yeah, but now not your 40. It's like young adults. That's my kids. My kid that just graduated from high school. He's a young adult now. I guess I'm not a young adult anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like a young adult sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
or I want to be a young adult.
Well, it's like the song, right?
No, I don't know.
George Strait, Troubadour. He's like, I still feel 25.
You know what a troubadour? Isn't that like an artist?
I think isn't it it's like a bard, someone who sings and travels
Okay.
around.
All right.
It's like a dude with a guitar on a horse, just traveling around.
That's not what I would have defined a troubadour as when I first heard that song.
Oh,
Like just an old gravelly man who's rough and tough and doesn't take crap from nobody type thing. But then I looked it up and it was like, it's like a musician, artist type person.
oh, okay. Maybe you're thinking Toreador, because isn't that the bullfighter, the Toreador?
I have no idea.
The guy with the red
Oh,
flag.
I know what that is,
The
but I've
bullfighter.
never heard of a Toreador.
Toreador?
Toreador.
Yeah, Toreador. Look it up. Maybe I'm making that up. You never know.
How would you spell Toreador?
Torea. Toreador. D-O-R.
Toreador.
I didn't know I was going to get a spelling test today.
A bullfighter, especially historically one fighting on horseback. I didn't know they fought bulls on horseback.
I didn't know that either. That's something I didn't know. Fantastic.
It's an older term. Yeah. Anyways, there's a Toreador song from the opera Carmen. I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go look at it.
By Georges Bizet.
I don't know how you know that, but with that, I'm just kidding. Why don't you sing us out, Jacob?
Okay. I was a young troubadour. Man, country music was so good back in the day.
It was. Good old country song comes on, you're like, or like a good psalm,
Like,
or a good hymn.
oh yeah.
Like
You know, it's a great hymn is the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Have you ever actually just listened to the?
Mm-mm.
It's so good. It's theologically rich. I think it has a bad like political connotation for some reason.
Yeah.
But if you just listen to the Battle Hymn of the Republic, it's good. It's deep.
Quick question. This came up on my feed the other day. It was a Viking lore AI produced song.
Mm-hmm.
And I started listening, and it's actually really catchy.
I've listened to a few of those too. They're like really just like heavy drums and just like Viking like battle music.
Yeah, but mixed with some good tunes and so I was playing it in the house the other day just to see what the kids thought. And they're like, "This is AI. You could just tell." You know, I was like, "Can you really?" They're like, "Yeah, it's just there's something not human about it." And you're like, "You can just tell it's contrived. It's made up. It's." And I was like, Like I didn't get that the first time I listened to it. I was like, "This is really awesome." And then I was like, "Oh, it's AI."
Yeah. I listened to one like that. I knew it was AI, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure. It's like,
It is.
it's catchy. It's good.
Catchy.
I like it.
But should I be
But
listening
I
to it?
don't
'Cause it's
want to
AI.
like it.
Yeah, because it's AI. It's artificial.
Yeah.
There's also one this folk channel that redoes like psalms and proverbs and sings them with like a little bit of folk music and a guitar, and it's like really good, but it's artificial intelligence. And I was reading the comments and I'm like, this isn't real. This is an abomination, you know. And I was like, can AI worship God? I mean, if the humans fail to worship God, won't the rocks cry out?
Yeah.
Is AI a rock?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at the silicon chips, right, it's just silicon comes from the silica, which is sand. So it's kind of like the rocks crying out. It's kind of weird.
It is, but it gives me a weird vibe, like when I'm listening to AI worship.
Yeah.
It just feels, something about it feels wrong.
It does feel wrong. Like I was listening to an AI song, and it was ironic because it was like a blatantly AI song the other day, and it had kind of a catchiness to it. It's kind of like, it's kind of like sugary candy is for the body.
Sure.
AI music is for the brain, right? It's just kind of a candy song.
Yeah.
But then the comments were like, "Oh, your music is so beautiful. Please keep making music. I can't wait till the next one comes out." I'm just like, oh. These people have been fooled.
You know it's AI when they've got 97 songs all made in 2026. You know, because they made all 97 songs within 10 minutes or something like that. Yeah. But
oh man,
good stuff.
Yeah. Well, what we at here?
42 minutes. That's like almost ideal.
So I mean, I want to close it out. Like, what do we do? Here's what I'm going to do.
Okay, do it.
You know, I'm just going to be the best landlord I can be.
There you go.
You know, but then also. Oh, the other realization I came to the other day, because, you know, I'm fixing stuff and it's like I'm complaining I like to complain a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm a grouchy old man, turns out.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anytime.
Glad we could have this moment together. Yeah. But it occurs to me, it's like I cannot hold these people to a standard that I cannot hold myself to.
100%.
You know,
good.
So that's my attitude of just like, if I'm going to expect them to act in a certain way as a tenant, I need to make sure that I have a very well-defined, very prompt, very, you know, good attitude towards being a landlord. Because, you know, as much as, you know, I think we glom onto the fact that, like, this is my property and I'm the landlord and I have, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, but they're also paying you a tidy sum every month to live here. Yeah. So if you want this to be your income stream, you need to treat it like a job and you need to do your job, you know? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's what I want to do moving forward, of just like, hey, be the best landlord I can be. And I got to trust, you know, for myself, trust in the Lord that the Lord is going to provide good tenants that are just going to come in and they will fulfill that relationship. They will be more in tune towards the relationship aspect of it rather than the regulation aspect of it. So,
well, and boundaries are really good. Like, boundaries are probably the best thing for a relationship, mm-hmm. whether it's a girlfriend, spouse, or just a regular friend, whatever, or a tenant landlord. Mm-hmm. Boundaries are the best thing for, like, when you have expectations. Hey, you come into this relationship with me, this contract with me, I'm going to take care of you if you take care of me. Yeah. The second you stop paying me is when we're going to have problems. Yeah. Or at least if you're not communicating with me. Yeah. Like, I want this to be a two-way relationship. Yeah. I may call you and say, hey, I know that the light bulb in the garage is out. I'm out of town. I'm not going to be there till Monday, but I'll be there Monday morning. Yeah. Oh, no worries. Don't worry about it.
Stick to your commitments.
Or they call back and say, hey, I'm not going to have that. I'm going to just late. I'm running behind, but I'll have it Friday for you. No problem. Thank you for communicating with me. And so it's like this give and take relationship. You set boundaries, you communicate, you treat people as humans. And I know I'm being very idealistic about this. And people fall on hard times, but at the same time, it's like, let's work through this. Let's be good to each other and not make each other the bad guy, because that's when things go south, is when we start making each other the bad guy and we start leveraging state law against our tenant or against our landlord. That's when things go south.
And also just make sure you take the time to go through the lease, right?
Yeah.
Because the lease is the ultimate document of expectations.
Yeah.
It's like, this is your rights as a tenant. These are my expectations as a landlord. It's like, this is the document that we are signing. So this is what you can expect. Yep. And in this document, it says you get a 4-day grace period, and then all this bad stuff happens.
Yep.
If you don't pay and you don't communicate, that's what's going to happen. You can expect it.
Yeah.
So managing expectations and good communication.
You shouldn't be surprised. And that's what boundaries do for us.
And next week, we're going to talk about marriage. And it's all the same stuff. Managing expectations and good communication.
Sounds good. Well,
all right.
as we always say.
As we always say.